Twitter mob called out a problematic, in quotes, artist, and it did not go the way they hoped. It did not go the way they hoped, because that artist has more followers than the people crying about for him. I don't know. This is a ref video. We'll look at that. I have been also defending two artists, actually. It was two artists. Funnily enough, it was two artists. I don't know if ref will cover both artists, but it's actually two artists that have been harassed, received death threats, and other things. Simply, do you guys remember the bake the cake situation? Where, if I remember correctly, a gay couple went into a bakery and tried to force that bakery. The cake situation, where a gay couple tried to force a bakery into baking them a cake. When they didn't want to do that. A specific cake. Specifically designed cake. Was it a pride cake? I have no idea. They didn't want to do that. This is basically similar, where they tried to force an artist, a Muslim artist, into drawing two queer couples, like queer couples. That was, and the artist did not want to do that due to personal boundaries. Anyways, we'll jump in.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're gonna be going over a pretty interesting situation in the art scene on Twitter, where there's some drama involving freedom of speech. Of course, the Twitter court of public opinion that is harassing this artist for the past couple of days. And this is a classic example of a cancellation campaign directed towards an artist that ultimately backfires. This person, this artist named Neko, we're going to be talking about today, went from 500 followers a few days ago to nearly 12,000 right now. So again, it's backfired horribly. We've seen this happen many different times, and pretty much this whole situation involves a commission they denied. And it has to do with their personal and religious beliefs. They basically didn't want to draw something that makes them uncomfortable. That's it. It's literally a battle of Twitter users trying to understand that no.
I'm gonna say this. I don't care if people disagree with me, but I'm gonna say this. We are so close. We are so close to saying that not sleeping with the same gender is homophobic. We are, actually, I would even say we're already there. Because, right, not sleeping with a trans person is transphobic in some circles already. But we're really damn close to that being a thing. Which is crazy, by the way.
Means no. And here is the main person who started the entire harassment campaign, a self-diagnosed magical girl named Richie. This individual posted a message from the artist, and it went viral, and as you can see, eventually it turned on them. They got exposed for being a lot of different things, and
yep, they were also spreading misandry as a classic. They were spreading misandry as well. They were basically making fun of people, also like making posts of basically like people supporting Men's Health Month and making fun of that men don't need that kind of stuff. I see that on X all the time. It's absurd. It is. It is so weird.
Didn't look good for them, and now they are in hiding. And once again, well.
It's also that I was already under the impression that Muslims were against same-sex marriages. They are. They are. That's like the point. It's also that, right? Right? That's the crazy part, right? They are against Muslims when they are not doing what they want. But these same people support Palestine. Which, by the way, there was a lot of Muslims. They were like saying, like, to this person, to this artist also, like, remove the Palestinian flag. And I'm like, so you are against an artist drawing queer art due to religious reasons. But you support a country, a group of people that would do the exact same for religious reasons. Like, it's hypocritical. You can't say, you can't be pro-Muslim, but then complain that Muslims do what Muslims have to do due to their religion. That doesn't work. That's hypocritical.
If it isn't the consequences of my own actions. So here's where everything starts. The artist Neko here is on a platform named VGen, which is another place where you can commission
And then they tried to harass Vegan, and Vegan basically gave them a response and said, the artist can decline whatever she wants. This is she's from Indonesia, by the way. She can decline whatever she wants. What she can't do is that if she declines somebody because they're gay, or because they're queer, which is not the case. But people tried to spin it that way, by the way, as well. They turned it from artist commission, rejected queer commission to artist requested commission from a queer person, just to lie about her as well.
An artist for a piece, and this is the updated terms of service, and we'll talk about the process of them updating it, but they basically reserve the right to decline any request they're not comfortable drawing. That is pretty much the baseline for like everyone. You're not forced to take on every commission request made to you, especially if the subject matter...
Muslims aren't just against it in some of the countries it's punished by unaliving. That's like the crazy part which these people don't understand. If we didn't know that she was from Indonesia, I don't know how Indonesia handles this. I think they're pretty fine with it, I guess. But, depending on where you live, she would not be able to draw that because she could get in trouble. But these people would rather make this artist, put this artist's life in danger than have them not be rejected. That's crazy. Like that's insane. That is draw two balls and a cock before instead of, you know, putting your life in and then put your life in danger. What are we doing?
Makes you uncomfortable. So here's the post. It's a screenshot because this person has gone private, but this post would go viral where they say, "Well, gang, I wouldn't recommend trying to commission if you're a queer person, I guess." Quoting Neko's post here, and they show the screenshot. It is a communication from the artist Neko saying, "Hi, hello Richie, I was reviewing the waitlist and came across your Yume ship request. I truly apologize for the mistake of adding you before carefully reviewing it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to work on this piece as I don't draw queer couples. Please know it's absolutely nothing against your character or idea. It simply comes from my personal religious belief, and I'm trying to stay faithful to that. I deeply apologize for not clarifying this earlier and for my inconvenience or disappointment this may cause. I'm sincerely grateful for your interest in Neko Mission, and I truly appreciate your understanding. Thank you so much again, and I'm really sorry for..."
There were also so many people throwing out uninformed lies. It's crazy. For example, this artist drew demons, right? And we're like, "Oh, you reject queer art, but you draw demons." Like, okay, you are completely uninformed, because if you knew, then you would know that in Islam they don't even have demons. Which means that this artist can draw demons. This artist can draw 1 billion demons. And it still would not be against Islam, because in Islam I think they have jinns, and then like 2 different kinds, like one is good and one is evil. So even then they tried to have a gotcha with the demon part, but this doesn't work.
The oversight. So this is a theme you're going to see, very professional responses from the artist, and this is basically the scenario. The person made a commission request where they wanted to draw a queer couple, and this person says, based on my personal religious belief, I'm not comfortable doing that. In fact, in other scenarios, they offered to maybe draw them like platonically or something like that, but yeah, so they turned it down and said, "Hey, I'll be a little more clear with my TOS." They apparently just started using this platform a few days ago, and they weren't too clear on how things were working, so they apologized. And this person makes this tweet, it goes viral, and they make it very clear in the replies that they believe this person is homophobic for denying their commission request, saying also that it's crazy.
See, I have a question. Would it also be... See, there's plenty of artists who don't draw men. Is that a problem? There's plenty of black artists who only draw black characters. And reject, and reject, what's the word? And reject, they just reject white characters, right? Is that problematic? There's artists who only draw men. Is that problematic? Like, okay, there's artists who reject drawing black characters because they can't draw black characters. They have no idea how to draw them. There's characters who only draw Japanese characters. Is that a problem? Like, when we open this complete can of worms of, you cannot draw something, you cannot reject drawing something because it offends somebody, a lot of you artists are gonna have some problems out here. Because even the ones that cry about this will be the ones who are bigoted.
Crazy that someone plays Genshin Impact and is homophobic. That is a very weird and terminally online statement right there.
That's because Genshin Impact is the most toxic queer fanbase on the entire planet. There's nothing worse than this community. They will literally dox you and harass you if you are somebody who ships male characters with female characters. They will literally make your life a living hell. You cannot save the Genshin community. The Chinese have won successfully.
But like I said, it goes viral. People are calling this artist a homophobe and all these things, and they're getting canceled. And you can see the first response they made by quoting the previous post. It has 4.6 million views, by the way. But to sum this up, because there's a lot of long threads in this, and let's keep it brief here, they basically say I wasn't really expecting all this, and they're sorry to the client for what happened, and that they just opened up VGen a few days ago, and they were not fully aware of how the system works, and know that they're not queer-phobic, and that they're surrounded by queer people. And
I wouldn't be mad if this artist became queer-phobic. I would not be mad, not gonna lie. I wouldn't be mad. It would be understandable. If you get bombarded... I mean, it's surprising that this artist did not just fully lean into it. It's actually surprising. Like, it is surprising. Like, if somebody gets, like, that much hate, death threats, other stuff, I mean, if there was a capability of doxing this artist, they would have done that as well, for sure. I would have not surprised if they actually have resentment. That would not surprise me.
Real life and online, but they choose to not engage in activities related to queer relationships, especially when it comes to making their commissions. And they take full responsibility for the misunderstanding, and that they'll be more clear in their TOS in the future. And then they thank everyone. Like, again, another very professional response, but the responses to them...
All of this artist's responses were completely professional. No hate, no anger, no insults. All of it was completely professional. But that wasn't enough. Draw two cocks, bigot.
Were unhinged, to say the least. You can see this totally sane individual saying we need to find her.
Look at, you see this? We need to find her, and rip her hijab right the F off. I don't care who's feeling it. She's a violent, by the way. Violent. Violent. She's violent. Have we seen in this video up until now her put hands on anybody? On gay people? On queer people? Trans people? By the way, this is a different one. This is Lulu. I think Lulu is not the same. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's a different one. Violent, by the way, for not drawing queer art. Violent. We are so damn close to, if you don't date the same gender, you're homophobic. We're so damn close.
And rip off her hijab. And I don't care who's feeling it, she's a violent homophobe. And I hope she's dragged until she's so unrecognizable. Yes, this is over denying an art commission, by the way. Here's another one saying, I hope you know that if you didn't do
Yeah, this is Lulu, who was a different artist who experienced the exact same thing.
freelance work, you would be 100% fired from an actual job for discriminating against gay people. F you. And I hope you lose money because of this. There's no hate like religious love. Wow, that one goes hard if you're an avid Reddit user, but here's another one.
Yeah, especially since, by the way, tolerance is not a Christian virtue. It's also not a Muslim virtue, at least as from what I can tell. So, yeah, it doesn't work this way. Also find it funny. Why, yes, I'm not a Christian, but I'm gonna use your beliefs against you. I don't believe in it, but I'm gonna use yours against you. I can shit talk you, but you cannot shit talk me.
See over and over again where people are posting their updated rules where they say they don't take commissions involving queer romantic pairings due to personal boundaries. And people are posting this like, aha, gotcha. I mean, there's people literally stating that this artist is violating people's civil liberties, that they have illegally discriminated against queer people. But that's not what happened here. The artist is not saying, if you're a queer person, I won't work with you. They will gladly work with you. They just don't want to make queer commissions, like featuring 2 same-sex characters. That is within their right. There's a lot of laws on the books, and there's several Supreme Court cases that went over the same issue where someone's being commissioned and they're being asked to do a service that involves gay rights or gay marriage or something like that, and on religious and freedom of speech grounds, they say, I'm not comfortable doing that. And the court has said, that's what you can do. You might not like it, but this person is expressing their personal boundaries, and you're mad at them. This is the thing, too. I don't understand. Why would you want someone to do artwork that makes them uncomfortable? Like, why would you want that person to express that sort of theme that makes them uncomfortable? Why would you want them?
It's also like, right? It's not just simple, right? Some artists might self-insert themselves, right? They may use their own body for measurements. They look at it the entire time, right? They look at it the entire time, right? So it's like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to force people to draw something? I can't stand this stuff. I have religious people in my life who don't agree with this stuff, but they don't harass or hate gay people. Yeah, that's like, right? They just leave them alone. This artist is also just leaving them alone. It's just so stupid. It's just so dumb.
Why wouldn't you just go to another artist? There are plenty of artists who will not draw straights character, like straight relationships, straight pairing.
Those 100% exist. There's artists who will not draw straight pairings. There's artists who will not draw white characters. Are you gonna say there's artists who won't draw men? Are you gonna say anything about that? No, you won't, because it's virtue signaling. How about instead of being a whiny little bitch on Twitter, you donate to some queer charity? Oh, that's not what you will do. That's not what you will do. Then, like its own money, then it becomes a problem, because then it directly affects you, right? You have to actually do something.
That is a real thing, and that's totally fine, because that is their personal boundaries. That is their preference. And this ultimately comes down to Twitter users not being able to take no for an answer. Now, you're probably wondering what happened to this Richie individual. Why did they end up going private? Well, as their post got more attention, people started looking at their posts as well. And right here, they make it very clear on the related subject, saying, oh
yeah, they're also racist. They're also racist. This person's also racist. Another one.
No, because there isn't something like straight phobia. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. But then you look through Twitter and it's like, we should kill straight people. Those are that's a real tweet, by the way. I have seen a tweet like that. Or anything that's like anything that depicts a heterosexual relationship is like het slop or heteroslop. Oh yeah. Doesn't exist at all. I would say it definitely does. I would say heterophobia definitely does. 100%.
Same way you can't be racist towards white people. Well,
and you can be racist towards white people. You can be racist towards anybody, no matter the skin color. Asians, Arabs, white, black, everyone.
Glad we got that out of the way. This person made it very clear that they don't like straight people and they don't like white people, and they don't think you can discriminate against them, which is a classic Twitter move. Anytime we're dealing with people like this, it's almost like a 90% chance they're going to feel like this. But also on top of that, they would double down on that tweet saying, by the way, I really don't give a F. I stand by this even if y'all call me every slur in the book.
Just one. Just one. Retard.
And then they also reposted this recently, where someone had a post with November is Men's Mental Health Month, or Health Month, And they put this big snap on there saying nobody gives a F, basically saying no one cares.
Interesting, but they are, you know, retweeting somebody who has this flag, so I guess those men also don't count. Weird. Again, weird behavior. Also, yes, it's Men's Health Month. Check on your homies and get your balls checked. You're not free from testicular cancer. It will get you if you don't make sure. Anyways, just saying that. Oh, my parents are religious and they're raising my siblings of the Christian beliefs. They know I'm not religious. And we don't argue or fight about because it's a waste of time to us. We still love each other. You need to realize that these people cannot survive in an environment where their beliefs are challenged, where not everybody agrees with them. They live in a constant echo chamber where everybody spouts the same nonsense. I don't want to make it a right and left issue, but it kind of is. They made studies, and they show that the political right is more thought diverse than the political left. just some thought. It's just crazy. Whenever I come in and see Poker talking about balls, Echo, I'm talking about men's balls because those need to be checked. Don't want to people have people dying here with cancer.
Cares about the well-being of men. So this person doesn't like straight people, white people, and men. Congratulations, a trifecta, if you will. But they would apologize because they started getting dunked
Yeah, this is not an apology. This is not an apology. Fuck off.
on for the post we just saw. And honestly, people are re-examining the entire situation and saying, why'd you even do this in the first place? But they say this. Hello, I would like to make a statement regarding the artist situation. I don't condone any form of harassment. I never sent them threats to them myself or told others to do so. I did share my DMs with them through VGen, which I immediately got attacked for as well, getting called every slurs in the book, but I never had any ill intentions as someone wants to paint me with. I was simply trying to warn my queer mutuals so they don't have to go through the same disappointment as me because the artist did not specify excluding queers in their TOS at the time of my OG post. I don't agree that just because they were polite, we should excuse queer phobia. While I do agree I could have handled the matter privately, I just never expected the tweet to leave my circle the way it did. So you see what they're doing right here. They're doing two.
They're not really apologizing. What they're saying is they kind of don't care. They should have handled it privately. And they're essentially just saying, I did not expect that I would get pushback. This person expected that everything they did was right and everything that they would receive was praise of how brave they are.
Things primarily. They're making themselves the victim. Yes, they made a call-out post. They accused this artist of being a homophobe. That artist gets dragged, threatened, harassed. But
I accuse this guy, whatever it is. I don't care. I accuse this guy of being a retard. That's what I accuse him of. Because he is.
Somehow this person's the victim. And it's pretty crazy they're even attempting to do that. And on top of that, you see the way they are talking about what happened. They're saying that the artist, she was excluding queers. No, she was.
They were pushing this lie the entire time. You're not getting that out of their head. They were literally just they were not excluding. They just said these people are demons, man. They might as well be. This person just said she's not gonna draw two cocks.
Making her boundary set. She said, based on my religious beliefs, I am not comfortable drawing that sort of theme. And now you're making it sound like she's excluding queer people, like actual people, from either reaching out for a commission or something like that. They are exaggerating the situation to make it look like this artist is literally hurting real people with these actions, instead of just putting up personal boundaries in their TOS and in the art they produce. But they continue on saying, I still stand by everything I have said. I don't believe heterophobia exists. You guys will never be oppressed as you claim to be.
This has nothing to be with... This has nothing to do with oppression. It is hate and contempt for people that are straight.
Neither do I believe in white racism. As a person with white upbringing, white people do not have the same history experiencing racism as a person of color, and we will never fully understand what a person of color goes through. I'm glad you're speaking on behalf of people of color. I'm glad you're speaking on their behalf. It's the savior complex. It's the self-hatred. We see this on Twitter all the time. It's just, yeah, not great. My account was private with my replies locked because I am not obligated to argue or have any
Again, you can't be racist against white people. 100%.
Conversation with bigots who don't really have any significance in my life. I stand by what I previously said.
Oh, no significance. Yet you made that kind of post. Yet they play any significance. Sure, buddy. Talk yourself into that. They do this stuff to Ref and his wife Straub because they're Christians all the time. Yeah, ever since Ref and Straub came out as Christians, especially ever since Straub, it's just like it's crazy. It's insane. The shit they have been getting, and especially from like, for some odd reason, this guy Bint is so hung up on Ref and Straub, and I feel like at this point some of these people are just mad because they have a loving marriage. It's so weird.
Because I know how much my tweet meant to all the queers around the world from all the messages I got. Thank you guys.
Like, is this guy trying to turn him into like queer Jesus at this point? Bro, you're on Twitter. Your reach is non-existent.
Everyone else, get more #woke now. What a splendid apology, a non-apology, if you will. This is like Twitter apology in a nutshell. They should have just brought out a ukulele at this point. Like, this is pretty embarrassing. It's the self-deprecation. It's making themselves the victim in the scenario, saying they don't care about all these bigots and people, basically, you know, anyone who disagrees with them, and they're making these snide remarks at the end here and acting like they're the hero of so many different communities because they had the guts to stand up and.
You're no hero. The only thing you're doing is you're making people like you. They're actually not people like you. You make good people that that just want to live their lives. You make their lives more miserable because they see fuckers like you. They see failures of society like you. They see people like you. And they go, oh, they must be all like this. And then they are getting, like, the normal gays, lesbians, bisexuals, trans people that don't cause any issues, that are just normal people, that live their lives normally, that even disagree with you. There were many queer people that disagree with you. Many. Many, many, many. You're making their lives harder because people start to think that they are exactly like you are, when they are not.
And share their truth, which, of course, we know how that goes. They went private, so they weren't too bold on their statements, but again, Neko, the artist, would respond. This is a very long thread, so I'm just going to sum up the most important highlights here. But they say that they want to express their deepest gratitude to those who offer their kindness and support. And the main issue is that they will continue standing by their decision, and they've updated their...
As this artist should. You can't give them a single, even a little bit of leeway. Not a little bit. Good that this artist is standing up for themselves. 100%.
Terms of service, they've made it very clear what they're doing there and what they won't do and where their boundaries are, and that they're new to the platform, and that was some of the confusion again, just to make that clear, and that they don't hold any resentment towards those who misunderstood or spoke out of confusion. I understand how quickly things can escalate online. At the end of the day, I only wish for a healthy and respectful environment where both artists and clients can communicate openly without fear of misinterpretation. I'll keep striving to create art and build connections that reflect kindness and respect for everyone involved. And they also wanted to apologize for a recent WhatsApp status. Apparently, it had something that people were taking offense to, but they apologize for that as well. And they say this can serve as a reminder to be more mindful about what we share publicly, especially when emotions are high. And then they also go down saying, moving on, I will always keep my head high to respect every religion, sexuality, and race. I also want to make it clear that I hold no hatred or discrimination towards queer people. I truly...
It does not matter. It does not matter whether you say that or not. It does not matter. You could have left that out and it would have made no difference. The harsh truth is that you are now branded by these people as a person that deserves to die, pretty much, because that's what you are now. You are a public enemy. You do deserve... They do call you that also for a reason, so they can dehumanize you completely. And this, you will now face constant harassment by these people, constant, without parole. That is a problem. Bin is a terminally online coomer who loses shit over the most ridiculous stuff. I do love trolling him, though. I got blocked by Niara because of the defending Nevin. I've not been blocked by Niara yet, but I do have Anna. I do have Bint. Those two I have. I've not gotten the third lol cow. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. I like Nevin. She's cool. She's cool. I like her. When did I get blocked by Bint? I don't even remember. I just quote tweeted him with a meme and then he blocked me.
We respect everyone for who they are. This is the bigot everyone's talking about. Well, they're not very good at being a bigot if they're talking like this. This is a professional response. I believe this artist is 19, by the way. This is a great response. This is a very difficult subject matter. It can get really messy really quick. And when you got people breathing down your throat, calling you a bigot, and going viral doing so, it's hard to come up with a good response like this that actually feels pretty heartfelt. So at the end of the day, they set boundaries. They didn't...
When somebody calls you a bigot, just ignore it, because the word has lost all meaning. Bigot, you are a bigot if you disagree. You're a Nazi if you disagree. You're anything in the book if you disagree. So that word has no meaning. All these words, they have no meaning. They don't matter. They don't say anything. Because they're not, they're used, so overused, they're so inflated that these people could not tell if they stood actually in front of a homophobic, because everyone is homophobic to them. They could not tell if somebody is an actual Nazi, because to them everyone is one that does disagree with them. There's no hope for these people. None.
Convey it the most clear way in their TOS. They updated it, apologized for it, but people still believe this person is quite literally like discriminating openly against queer people, and that's not the case. They are just simply putting a boundary on what they feel comfortable drawing in commissions. But of course, the response to this was filled with a lot of support, but also a lot of hatred as well. Individuals like this saying, yeah, you and your homophobic religion and culture can suck it, actually, effing idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, the tolerant people, they've lost their cool. The mask has completely slipped off right here. Here's another artist saying, it's crazy that you can be homophobic and nothing will happen. You also gain more followers if you're polite enough about it. Interesting seeing people defending her, also calling LGBT people mentally ill or something like that. I don't know. Really telling when you think about it. Well,
to be fair, they're not calling LGBT people mentally ill. They're calling you guys mentally ill. Which in this case, they are in fact correct. You are mentally ill. The worst thing that happened to our species is the softening of our species. The worst thing that ever happened.
This last part's interesting because I'm seeing people saying they're going to harm the artist in real life. They're going to track her down. I see people calling...
Yeah, that's suddenly not a problem because, well, it's the enemy. Remember, they don't call you an insert phobic or whatever term. What was the quote? from Shoeonhead? Let me think. They don't kill you because you are insert whatever phobic, whatever buzzword. They call you that so they can kill you. Remember that.
Her slurs and saying things about her religion. We just saw one 2 seconds ago. So are you going to blame the people who are calling her out collectively for the actions of those people? Like, this standard doesn't really work in your favor. And on top of this, this part right here just feels like jealousy. Like, I guess you're mad that they gained support when they were harassed by a mob of people, and people saw that, and instead of...
It's also funny how unsmart these people are in their, what's the word, business decision. If I see a tweet like that, I will never commission you. Ever. I would never, ever commission you if I saw shit like this.
Joining in on the mob, they showed support. But here's another one saying, y'all will let religious bigots hate crime you in broad daylight if they were polite enough about it.
I mean, we're cooked at this point. Telling somebody to speak English in the UK is a hate crime. So what even is a hate crime? Can you define what a hate crime is? Because the lines are so blurred that we live in times where telling somebody to speak the language in the country you live in is a hate crime. I don't know.
Showing some related tweets and artwork. And of course, how does that end? Muted. Yes, because people were disagreeing with this, and this person couldn't deal with their headcanon of the situation being challenged.
Also, why is it always a Genshin profile? Ref again? Yes, ref again.
Here's another one saying the amount of people defending her is insane. Yes, not accepting a commission specifically because you don't like drawing a gay couple is homophobia. If another person refused to draw a Muslim because they don't feel comfortable with their religion, that would also be discrimination.
No. No. If somebody doesn't want to draw Muslims, they don't have to draw Muslims. If somebody doesn't want to draw Christian imagery, then that's also totally fine. If somebody doesn't want to draw Buddhist imagery, that's totally fine. These people, boundaries are fine as long as it's not boundaries don't matter as long as it's not overstepping theirs. Hey, Grammar can, but I think nobody want to listen to a real definition. Again, it doesn't matter if you give me the real definition, because the term has been so watered down that, again, telling somebody to speak English in the UK police will put you in jail for this. They will literally charge you if you tell them that, because that can be considered, in fact, a hate crime. We are so cooked. When I saw that clip, I was in disbelief.
So again, this is, people are setting boundaries. They don't feel comfortable, based on their religious views, drawing a certain theme. Like, are you going to force them to do it? Is that like the answer here? Is that the only remedy? Like, we're going to force people to draw things that make them uncomfortable on a personal level? And you have this person trying to set up a scenario saying, problem is you don't respect queer people. If I walked into your coffee shop, ordered myself a drink, and came to my table and said, sorry, we don't serve queer people here, it would be considered discrimination. That's not what happened. This is like madness.
Yeah, that's not what happened. She didn't reject you because you were... she didn't reject the person because they were queer. She rejected drawing queer art. If he came with, like, a solo art, or he came with, like, a straight couple, that would have been fine. The Nazi stuff is crazy. I went to school with a couple guys who were grandsons of an SS officer, came to the US to work for NASA. They don't hold the beliefs for their grandfather. Crazy, right? It doesn't matter. You would be considered... We live in times where you are at fault for your ancestors' sins. Like, you have to pay for your ancestors' sins. That's unfortunately how it is. I mean, I grew up in a country where we have this, like, entire guilt culture, where, like, even our young generation is at fault for what happened during World War II. Like, we receive blame. Like, we are at fault. Constantly. So yeah, this is...
She did not refuse a commission because the person who made the commission is queer. No. That's not... This analogy does not work the way this person thinks it is. Here, let me expand on it, right? It's like going to the coffee shop and saying to the waiter, I want a coffee. Okay, they're making the coffee. Then you say, wait a second, can I have some latte art? And you make it of a queer couple kissing. And they have the right at that point to say, no, not doing that part. That's what we're talking about here. It's not like this person's just outright refusing to serve anyone who is queer. That's 100% not what's happening here. It's about the subject matter, not the person requesting that commission. But they probably know that. They're just being obtuse. But here's someone saying, as a trans person, this situation kind of upset me. How are we going to demand respect, but try to cancel someone for setting a religious boundary? She was kind and respectful about it, and Twitter jumped her. Meanwhile, she's been very openly supporting queer people. Well, in the minds of Twitter users, they have basically wrote her off as a bigot.
Yep, and her reputation among those will never recover. Never once. Their reputation is gone. Completely. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is this. The thing is this. If you do what your enemy is doing to you, so to speak, you lose the moral high ground. You can only argue from a position of logic, from a position of you being the better person. If you are, in fact, the better person. A murderer cannot advocate against murder because they don't have the moral high ground. A thief cannot argue against stealing because they are a thief. They don't have the moral high ground. If you harass somebody for being, quote-unquote homophobic, which she was not, you lose the moral high ground.
And that pretty much is that. But anyways, you can see how crazy the situation has got. People are making like sub posts about it, saying like, if you want to call me a bully for standing up for gay people and for being upset that an artist that draws demons.
Somehow I made fun of this retard. I'm not blocked yet. I don't know how I did it. Again, the demon cannot even be used here, right? He uses the demon argument, but in Islam you are allowed to draw demons because they don't exist in Islam, so that's out of the window. They don't care about moral high ground. They can yes all the way out when they lose the moral high ground. True. Logic is a no-no word in the internet. Yeah, I know.
Poontang and canonically queer characters decline someone for being also queer.
This retard is not able to provide the corn because this artist never drew corn. And when asking, show me the corn, he cannot show the corn. Demon doesn't exist in Islam. Jinns crying in the corner, but they're not like biblical they're like demons as people imagine demons, especially since there's a good and bad kind. So that doesn't even work. Jinns are not demons, as far as I've understood. The Quran doesn't mention demons in that way.
Again, that is not, it's literally not what happened. It's not because someone was queer making the commission. But also, I saw all these claims about them drawing like adult content. I looked through their media tab, their feed. I didn't see anything.
There is no adult content. This is another lie. This is another lie being spread to smear the artist. Like
that. So I don't know really where people are getting it. The closest thing I saw was like a shirtless male character. So I don't really know where people are coming up with this, but you can see it's virtue signaling on steroids over here. People are taking advantage of the moment to dogpile this artist, but unfortunately for them, it didn't work. And just like in many other cases where someone's trying to dogpile an artist.
Do I see, is that Shiro's profile? Ah!
Artist or a content creator or whatever, it ends up working in their favor. Is it a headache? Of course. This person clearly didn't want to go through all this, but now that they made it through the other side, a lot of people gain respect for them. And also, they gained about 11,500 followers. So, pretty good for them. I'll put a link to their account in the description if you want to check them out. We always like to support artists around here. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Fuck these people. This artist has such cute art, by the way. It is so good looking. She has such cute art. It's really good. It's really good art. Yeah. What else is there to say? She has been branded as a homophobic. There's no recovery from this, by the way. So yeah, it doesn't matter if she tries to make like an attempt to make amends or something. It doesn't matter. She just ignore it because like she's gonna get constantly quote tweeted by these people. It doesn't matter. Yeah, support this artist. There's also another artist, Lulu, had the earlier, who had the exact same problem. The one with the hijab, where they wanted to rip off her hijab and drag her and beat her to until she's unrecognizable. That one also has really cute, really good art. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.